Hello?
Good morning. Is this Ogre?
Yeah, speaking.
Hi, it's Dennis Kelly from Chicago Music.
Hey, man.
How are you?
Good. Good.
Wanted to thank you very much for this opportunity. I know your schedule is incredibly busy, but I definitely wanted to thank you right off the bat.
You're welcome.
Appreciate that. Did you want to grab coffee or anything before?
I've got coffee. I'm all set to go.
Okay, cool. Of course, we're going to start off with the beginnings and stuff like that. Why did, the exact motivation of why you started Skinny Puppy? Was it more like you had a lot to say, or just kind of started off for fun type of thing?
Well, I think it was something we kind of fell into. I think both Kevin and I were a bit disenfranchised with our own, situations at the time. Kevin was in a pop band called Images in Vogue, and was looking for a different way to express himself, and I was kind of careening off the edge, so to say, and not really, a bit feckless in my choices and what I was doing, and I always kind of written poetry, and I started working with some people in Vancouver when I was in my early 20s, just learning about music, and then it was just a matter of a timing thing where our paths literally crossed, and we recorded one song together, and that kind of started the whole ball rolling, and then we had a number of studio sessions with a producer, which ended up being Dave Ogilvy, and that's how our first EP came about. Yeah, we made a little tape, and made back and forth, made about under 100 copies of it, and sold those kind of just through mail and through word of mouth, and then got picked up by Network after that.
Have you, with Back and Forth 2 and 3 and 4, have you ever included any of these songs from the original Back and Forth on?
We did. I think there's actually a release with the original songs. There was a metal box that came out with all that stuff, and I'm not sure they're still selling it. I don't really keep track of all that stuff. I think that they are still selling it. I think it was, as far as I know, it's still available.
Okay, let's see. And then with your arrival pretty much on the music scene, you're pretty much looking at pop and rock dominating on the charts. What kind of reactions did you receive, with live shows and the first releases and stuff like that?
I think our first release kind of came as a bit of a shock, and I think that kind of propelled it a bit forward as far as the Canadian press goes and things like that, and within the Canadian, within Much Music and stuff like that, and they've kind of picked up on it, and we did a video for our first single, and that kind of was at the time when Much Music was just kind of burgeoning video channel, and so they played it a few times, and it just kind of, I think what picked up for us is when we started doing live shows, and when we started touring, and I think that's kind of when the word of mouth awareness finally kind of connected. We didn't get much, we've never gotten much radio play, and so the band has always kind of been more about live performance and a cult following in a way.
True. I mean, radio is nothing like what the Skinny Puppy sounded like.
No, it never was. So, at the time when we started out, it was a lot of the hair bands in the 80s, and we were kind of in revolt against that in a way, I guess, was our goal and message back then, I guess, as far as a musical choice, and looking back, it was just the beginning of obviously a longer career than any of us expected.
That's definitely a good thing.
Yeah, definitely.
And with that, how did it come to be that the live shows became performances rather than than just performing the music, so to speak?
Well, to me, there was always kind of a separation between what I saw as electronic acts and the audience, and just kind of the sterile nature of being in an electronic band without having a lot of, action on stage. We've kind of resolved a lot of that now with the new lineup of people. There's, a live drummer and a live guitar player, and they're all still kind of family in a way. They're all people that we've known from that period when we were doing that, but originally there was kind of a desire to kind of step up a notch from what electronic acts at the time were doing, and dress the whole show up a bit and make it more of a spectacle. I guess the whole idea was, spectacle being the key word, of just, putting out all this information and drawing parallels between the theater and the visual media that we're using and then the music as well.
I was never really sure if it was art or entertainment or statements that you're.
I'm still not sure.
But definitely very.
It's almost becoming political satire.
So let's see. Now, kind of shifting on to the current tour. How was Cleveland the other night?
Cleveland was great the other night. Actually, it was a really good show. Surprisingly, it was. It was one of those unexpected sorts of things where you kind of you're not knowing what to anticipate, but knowing. I mean, we always kind of had pretty good shows in Cleveland, and then going out and having an audience that was very receptive, and I think we almost played 2 hours the other night.
Wow.
Which was amazing for us.
Now, you had the your last night off. What do you find yourself doing in Ohio on a night off?
Last night I walked around the bare streets of Cincinnati. I crossed the river to Kentucky, and I went and saw 2 movies.
Really?
Yeah, and had some dinner.
I just can't imagine, like what you do on your time off in Ohio.
Pretty exhausted, actually. So I mean, if I have a really good bed, and I've been dealing with this low-grade fever or something for the last 2 or 3 weeks, and it's kind of tripping me out. So I've been trying to get a lot of sleep, actually, because when I was up in Canada, we were filming, and I didn't really have. My schedule gets turned around sometimes, and I can't sleep on the bus. I have a bit of insomnia, and so I was trying on days off really just rest. And we had a masseuse come in yesterday who's with us down in Florida, who flew in to do some work. And so I did that, and then just kind of vegged out, tried to eat good, and then, like I said, I went and saw some movies, and just took my mind off everything.
Yeah, because you're definitely going at a pretty fast pace.
We have a pretty tough schedule this time, yeah, more so. I mean, we're doing, like, runs. We're not doing any more, thank God, but for the first part we did like 2 or 3 runs of 4 shows, and 5 shows. So, I mean, it doesn't sound that, like, it doesn't sound that debilitating, but it really takes a lot out of you, and so I've been trying to play catch-up from that a little bit.
I mean, this is definitely one of your more intense tours that you've...
Certainly is. So we've never done 2 rounds of a country before either. We've never really done the like 2-cycle run, the primary markets and the secondary markets, kind of. It's had some interesting pockets. So I guess Ohio is one of those pockets. It's always kind of good for us. Seems like in Ohio we'll see tonight, in Cincinnati, and then we'll see. It'll be interesting to see what happens in Chicago again when we come back around. And we came back around in Detroit and had a really good show. So it's just been good. It's just a little more difficult because the schedule's a bit tougher.
True. Now on to a couple questions on the Ogre tour and stuff like that. I was just kind of curious how the Ogre tour differed from Skinny Puppy as far as the performance aspect of it. Like, how did you differ?
Oh yeah, I mean, I kind of chose to make Ogre more. I mean, there was a little bit of antics that went on for whatever reason. Probably just more of a security measure for me as a performer. But I really tried to keep Ogre more as just me being a musical frontman. And Skinny Puppy gets more involved in the sense that there's kind of a theme, or there's some sort of linear thing connecting everything together, and it's a lot more theatrical and a lot more colorful and a lot more fluidity. There's more fluidity. Real sense. Literal sense to like Skinny Puppy shows. Yeah, there's just a lot more kind of stuff going on, and a much bigger kind of visual presentation. We had a monitor wall, which we are carrying this time as extra monitors, but we had that as our main kind of visual setup last time on the Ogre tour. So it was just, the Ogre tour was something that I think, in a segue, was kind of something that kind of further kind of cemented mine and Kevin's desire to work together again, and at the same time kind of allowed me to just be, I think that the band for me is a way of just kind of getting away from the more, this aspect of it being really heavily performance heavy in the sense of the theater and the blood and the grue and all that, and just kind of stand back and be a singer for a change.
Yeah, because I was reading in another interview that you actually don't like covering yourself up in blood and blood and all that.
It's not that I don't mind it, and I've gotten it down to an art now. As in getting out of it and putting it on, actually. I kind of enjoy the process in a way. There's a certain aspect of the process I like. It's just that, you know, continually doing this, you know, for like 34 shows it's just, you know, it depends on the place. If there's a place that has an extremely clean shower and you can literally get off stage and like peel it off and get the stuff off you quick, great. But if you have to kind of do a lot of moving back and forth, it can be, you know, it just, you know, I just tend to get sicker easier having that kind of stuff all the time. You know? And I had a bad run of luck with it on the first leg of the tour. I was using modeling clay and flour, and I had an allergic reaction in Seattle. I had a chemical burn actually in my eyes from I think the clay and the flour, but it kept returning in subtler and subtler ways as I blocked more and more things, and I've just kind of reduced everything down to food edible products, and still on the beginning leg of this tour I had the same thing happen to me in San Diego, and so I realized that it was probably a food allergy with flour. It was probably something that the doctors were saying this time. I almost had to go to the emergency again, but I didn't want to because I have this Pavlovian response to it because of what they did to me there. But they called the hospital and said that I might have a baker's allergy, and so I stopped using flour, and it's finally gotten under control. But some of the most painful experiences have been
something you don't even think about. I mean,
yeah, people don't even think about that, and I don't think about it, and I never had that problem before. But for some reason, I mean, I have. It's just the worst situation. I mean, luckily I had 2 days off after the Seattle show on the first leg, which I just kind of flown my now present girlfriend up for a weekend in Seattle, and she ended up having to kind of nurse me because I was blind basically after this for 2 days and extremely light sensitive. So it's just that was a bit daunting. So with those things get kind of like added on to the whole mess of things, yeah, sometimes I'm like, fuck this.
Yeah, you're definitely wearing yourself out.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, a couple of days in the hospital really like set you straight on that.
I understand Cyber Optics was the company that designed your the bird costume, and I think some of the other costumes as well.
Right.
Were you involved in the designing of it at all, or did they pretty much have free reign?
No, I was totally involved in design. I mean, I kind of wanted something that, there was a number of ideas that went into it. One was, you know, something that was kind of in a sense dog related, or, you know, mythologically or historically related to like a dog, and then the idea of a plague doctor came in with nose, and then I was going to take that a step further, and I wanted to incorporate a fire helmet into it because to me I kind of see firemen and people like that as kind of these first line defenders in this new kind of plague, and in a lot of ways I kind of saw them, that image similar to what the old plague doctors were during the Black Death, and with their long noses and things like that. So I wanted to incorporate something like that. I never really got to that point with it, and now it's kind of turned into this, you know, it's taken a turn again to being a bit more militaristic in a way. It's becoming more of a soldier-like character.
The new album, with the video for Protest, you deliberately came up with that one to kind of defy expectations, I guess I'd say.
I think that was our intention when we heard the idea. It wasn't our idea necessarily. It was Bill, who is our guitar player and who's done our videos right back to Two Dark Park, who had the idea based on this clash of cultures that we're going through right now in a sense, and so broke things down musically to have we thought it'd be kind of interesting. And I think at this point in our career, the idea of caricature starts to come up, and so we tried to take control of that and, in a sense, kind of, you know, shape our own caricature of what, you know, the band is and what people would expect from the band, and, you know, always trying to kind of shift that away from what people expect to what they would not expect, and play around with that whole thing. So Bill knows all these breakdancers who he's done a number of breakdancing videos, and so it was kind of an interesting idea for a video concept based on where we are right now with this label, and how much funding we could get and the quality of video we could do with that kind of funding. So we kind of went for that idea, and it was a lot of fun actually. I mean, the more fun for me was kind of being in the rehearsals or in the auditions and seeing some of these kids. It's just amazing what they can do.
Yeah, I mean, they were definitely impressive.
Blew my mind, actually. And then we also kind of got in touch with these crumpers, which is a new form of breakdancing, or a new form of black dancing, in the sense that it's coming out of South Central, and it's based on African and breakdancing, and it's a bit like speaking in tongues in a way. It's like dancing in tongues. It's this really incredible, just amazing, forceful, emotional form of dance, and so we had some of that at the end, and we might work further with those people on another video. That's more of a anti-war statement, which they were very interested in doing.
That definitely would be excellent to see.
Yeah.
And keeping on the protest song here, I was noticing that it doesn't seem that, I mean, obviously there's been a major hiatus here in Skinny Puppy's career, but with remixes and single releases, is Protest ever going to be released as a single?
I'm not sure. We're really talking about doing a remix CD, and I'm not sure which songs will be chosen off that thing that's kind of coming together right now. So,
oh, really?
Yeah, so there's a possibility of it being remixed. I don't think it'll ever be coming out as a single per se.
Okay. Yeah, because I know you're definitely very big on putting out the singles and the B-sides.
We were, yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's more of a time of that, getting back in the day when they were pressing singles and stuff like that, and now it seems like the music's kind of the giveaway anyway, so I'm not sure. That's kind of more of a marketing thing within the label and stuff like that, in a lot of ways, and we're always open to that, and I think the idea of doing a remix CD might be interesting, and I think that's what they're working on right now. Whether Protest will be included in that, I can't say.
That was actually one thing I was kind of hoping for, because with the remix CD that everyone did, of Skinny Puppy's music, I was thinking, definitely it'd be very appropriate to have Skinny Puppy go back and kind of, redo, not redo, but kind of have a lot of fun with the classics and the new classics and stuff like that.
Totally.
Last two questions, I'd say, and then I'll let you go, if that's okay.
Cool.
Okay. Now, kind of shooting toward the future, I understand that you're also talking about a DVD also, a live DVD.
We are.
And is that being filmed over the course of the tour? Or is
well, we actually just finished the shoot. We shot 2 shows. We shot Montreal and Toronto. And we shot one show, like the Montreal show, was kind of a precursor for the big shoot in Toronto, which had 3 or 4 high-definition cameras and, a moving dolly in the front, and just, a static camera in the back, and then 2 roving cameras. So we got a lot of stuff down, and then Bill's going to be traveling to a number of places around the world to get some additional footage, and we're going to put together a DVD, which should be, I think it's going to be out by at least June, hopefully, or even before.
Cool, definitely. Been some time coming for another live.
Yeah, I mean, it's cool because we have all this archival footage, stuff that Dwayne shot, and we've got something like 14 hours of tape from one of our tours in 1987 through Europe, our first tour through Europe, and we're going to include all of that stuff.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah, I know, it's cool. I mean, it's like finding a place where we can kind of archive all this stuff, because Doomsday was something that was talked about as being a DVD, but it was network really never came up to the plate, and so now it's done, it's in the can, and all of the paperwork's done, so it is definitely going to be a reality this time.
So, I mean, are we looking at maybe a double disc DVD, or?
I don't know. That'll depend, I guess, on the information. I mean, Bill's got to go, has to literally go through all of this information and digitize it, see what's there, and you know, there's all sorts of stuff. There's stuff from Two Dark Park. There's, you know, it's not great footage, but it's stuff that I'm sure kids would love to see. From that period where we, you know, again, I kicked myself for not having that tour filmed, because that was an amazing tour. But there's just so little. There's so little left of that tour that stuff will be put into. So all this stuff will be kind of archived and put in this DVD.
Cool. And last question, just you know, when the tour is complete, do you have any plans thereafter?
I'm taking a break, just for a little bit. I'm going to spend some time with my girlfriend and my animals, and I think we have some other touring opportunities coming up in the future, possibly South America and Mexico, and possibly Asia and Australia as well, and possibly some dates in Eastern Europe. So we're looking at all that stuff and just, you know, sussing it out logistically. And other than that, we're probably going to start recording again by the summer on a new record, and if all goes well, and just take a little bit of time just to kind of, like, you know, recharge.
I want to thank you again for your time, and I want to thank you also for you guys getting back together, because I never dreamed I would have the opportunity to see you guys. I've never gotten to see you guys yet.
Cool, man. Well, this is actually a good time to see us, because the band's really powerful, and we've never sounded better. I mean, we're, as far as like sonically and you know, I think that, like, the strength of the shows are pretty good. So it's a good time to see Skinny Puppy, definitely.
Cool. I guess that's it. I hope you have a great rest of the day and a great show tonight.
All right. Thanks for your support.
Not a problem. And I'll be seeing you guys on Friday then.
Cool, man.
Take care.
Bye.